Good morning, students. In my last class, I discussed and completed the text of The Adventure of Dying Detective, which is about Sherlock Holmes. And I hope that you have gone through my class and you are quite able to understand the line-to-line explanation of the short story. As per your syllabus, which has been already uploaded in your site, in the school website, another story is there for the first term, because your syllabus has been divided into three parts: first term, second term and annual. And the name of the story is, which is left, is A Shot in the Dark. A Shot in the Dark. First, before going to discuss about the text, I would like to tell what do you mean by a shot in the dark. Just look. A shot in the dark. A shot in the dark means, suppose you tell something or you guess something about which has been held coincidentally. That is called a shot in the dark. It is a story about Philip Slitherbee, who wants to be nominated as a member of parliament in a re-election which will be held in Yorkshire. And to win in that election, he needed the favor of Mrs. Saltpen Jago, who is very much renowned, powerful and is honored by the citizen. So definitely he needed the favor of Mrs. Saltpen Jago. As a result, he is going to meet with her, and on the way to her place, he met with a young boy who claimed to be the second son of Mrs. Saltpen Jago, which has been held coincidentally, because to whom he is going to meet, her second son, he has got on the way. It really very surprising to Sir Philip Slitherbee. So he did not believe that young boy, and he did not help him what he actually was asking for, and what will be held later on. This, whenever I will discuss the short story, I will have come to know. So I hope that you have understood what is the theme of the short story, and whenever we will go through the text, you will have come to know A Shot in the Dark, why the author has chosen this title, A Shot in the Dark. So open your book. This is chapter 1, page number 15. Philip Slitherbee settled himself down in an almost empty railway carriage, with the pleasant feeling of starting off on an agreeable and profitable trip. That means Philip Sliderby, as he was going to meet with Mrs. Solpen Jago, just he was going to meet with her, and at that time, whenever he entered into an empty compartment of the railway, he felt very much relaxed because the compartment was empty and he secured a good place, and in his mind that he was going to be a profitable trip. Profitable trip means he was going to a trip which seemed to be a profitable, because he is going to meet with Mrs. Solpen Jago, and he was very much excited to just manage the favoritism of Mrs. Solpen Jago. That's why the trip has been treated as a profitable trip. He was bound for Brill Manor. Where he was going? The train is going towards Brill Manor, the country residence of his new acquaintance, Mrs. Solpen Jago. And Brill Manor is the country residence where he actually Mrs. Solpen Jago lived. The name of the place is, the name of the city is Brill Manor. Honoria Solpen Jago, her full name is Honoria Solpen Jago, was a person of some social importance in London, of considerable importance and influence in the country of Yorkshire. Honoria Solpen Jago was a person who had a social importance. That means who had a great importance in the society where she lived, in a country of Yorkshire, which is situated in, the name of the country is London, and who had a great importance in the society, and people of the society really respected her. The country of Yorkshire was immediate personal interest to Philip Sliderby. It was held for the government in the present parliament by a gentleman who did not intend to seek re-election, and Sliderby was under serious consideration by the party managers as his possible successor. That country Yorkshire nowadays has become an important place for Philip Sliderby, because there is a re-election going to be held, parliamentary re-election, and the party managers or the party workers thought Philip Sliderby as their successor. That means they had already selected or nominated Philip Sliderby as their candidate, but he knew that only if he will be able to manage the favoritism of Mrs. Solpen Jago, then only he can win the election. The Solpen Jago influence was not an item which could be left out of the consideration, and Philip Sliderby had been delighted at meeting Honoria at a small and friendly luncheon party, still more gratified when she had asked him down to her country house for the following Friday to Tuesday. And Philip Sliderby knew that it was only Mrs. Solpen Jago for whom he will be able to win the election. So, in a tea party, he met with Mrs. Solpen Jago, and what a good luck for him that Mrs. Solpen Jago had invited him to stay with her in her country place from Tuesday to Friday. She had given the time, she had given the date. From Friday to Tuesday, you can come to my native place and to stay with me. And this was a great offer this was a great opportunity for Philip Slitherbee to convince that woman who had a great influence in Yorkshire. So definitely he was very much excited whenever he was going to his trip. He was obviously on approval if he could share the goodwill of his hostess. Here, who is hostess? Hostess is Honoria Solpen Jago, because she had invited him to join with her in her native country. And count the nomination as an assured thing. If he failed to find favor in her eyes, well, the local leaders would probably cool off in their early enthusiasm for him. And he knew that it was only Solpen Jago for whom he can be nominated, he can win in the re-election. Because if he knew that if Mrs. Solpen Jago would reject him or would not show any interest in him, then definitely his party workers who had already thought him to be their successors, they also be silent. They also be cool off about him. They will not show any interest about him. Then there will be no chance to be nominated and to win in the election. So his first priority was to convince Mrs. Solpen Jago. Among the passengers dotted about on the platform awaiting their respective trains, Slitherbee spotted a club acquaintance and beckoned him up to the carriage window for a chat. Whenever he had entered into the railway compartment, he secured a place just beside the window. And whenever before starting off the train, he saw through the window on the platform. And in the platform, he saw that there was someone who, among the other passengers, who belonged to the same club which Philip Slitherbee belonged. That means a club member. And he beckoned him. Beckoned him means called him. Just give a direction by his hand. Just come in that way. Oh, you are staying with Mrs. Solpen Jago for the weekend, are you? I expect you will have a good time. She had the reputation of being an excellent hostess. Then the man or the club member came forward to him. And through the window, they started to talk. The person asked or told that, oh, you are going to meet with Mrs. Solpen Jago. She is a nice hostess and definitely you should be successful to win the heart of that lady, to win or to convince that lady, by which you can be nominated in the re-election. She will be useful to you too if the parliament project. Hello, you are off, goodbye. Then after bidding goodbye, the train started to move, and once again his club member also reminded him about the importance of Mrs. Solpen Jago for winning in the parliamentary election. Slitherbee waved goodbye to his friend in that way, waved goodbye, pulled off the window and turned his attention to the magazine lying on his lap. After closing the window, Philip Slitherbee started to go through the pages of his magazine. He had scarcely glanced at a couple of pages. However, when a smothered curse caused him a glance hastily at the only other occupant of the carriage, whenever he was just checking or going through the pages of his magazine, suddenly he saw there was a young boy who just was sitting just opposite of him, and he was doing something. He was searching for anything which he had maybe he had missed. His traveling companion was a young boy of about 22. This is the description of the young boy, who just was only the occupant in that compartment, except Philip Slitherby. He was a boy of only 22, with a dark hair, fresh complexion, and the blend of smartness and disarray that is typical of a rambler. And he was a boy of only 20 or 22. He was very much handsome, had a black hair, and he was looking to be a traveler, professional traveler. He was searching furiously and ineffectually for some elusive and non-existent object. From time to time he dug a 6-penny coin out of the waistcoat pocket and stared it ruefully. And whenever Philip Slitherby saw that boy, he was searching for anything who he missed. I think, or Philip Slitherby thought that the person was searching for anything that he missed. And he was looking only his 6-penny coin, and he was looking very angrily that only 6-penny coin he was looking. Then recommenced and the futile searching operations, and once again he was searching again and again. He was searching for anything that he might miss at his home. A cigarette case, matchbox, key, silver pencil case, railway ticket were turned out on the seat beside him, and along with him he had a cigarette case, he had matchbox, he had a key, silver pencil case, and railway ticket. These were along with him. But he was not satisfied with these things. He was searching for another thing. But none of these articles seemed to be afford of satisfaction. This did not give him any type of satisfaction. He was searching for anything else. And for that reason, he was cursing him again and again. He just was showing that he has frustrated of himself. Why he had forgot that thing. The vigorous Pantamon did not draw forth any remark from Slitherby, who resumed his scrutiny of magazine. But this type of appearance, this type of showcase did not attract the attention of Philip Slitherby. He continued his study of magazine, or he continued his going through the magazine. He was going through the magazine. I say, exclaimed a boy, voice presently. Whenever this type of attitude did not attract the attention of Philip Slitherby, the boy directly started to talk with Philip Slitherby by saying, "Hello, didn't I hear you say you were going down to stay with Mrs. Solpen Jago at Brill Manor?" "Hello, sir. I heard whenever you were having a conversation with a person just on the platform that you are going to meet with Mrs. Solpen Jago. Is it right that you are going to meet with Mrs. Solpen Jago at Brill Manor? What a coincidence. My mother, you know." "Do you know what a coincidence is this?" The young boy claimed that Mrs. Solpen Jago is his mother. "Do you know what a coincidence? To whom you are going to meet is my mother. I am going there on Monday evening. So we shall meet. I am going on Monday. Till then you have to stay over there. Whenever I will go on Monday, we will meet again. I am quite a stranger. Haven't seen mother for 6 months at least. I was away itching last time she was in town. Do you know? I am a traveler. I am a stranger. And I haven't met with my mother for 6 months. I was away itching last time she was in town. I am Bertie, the second son, you know. So the name of the young boy is Bertie. And he told that my name is Bertie. I am the second son of Mrs. Solpenjabo. I say it is an awfully lucky coincidence that I should run across someone who knows my mother just at the particular moment I have done an awfully awkward thing. Then Bertie started to tell that what a coincidence this. I met a man who is going to meet with my mother in such of an awkward situation when I need the help of someone. At that moment, coincidentally, I met with someone who is going to meet with my mother. How coincidence this is? That is why the name of the story is The Shot in the Dark. You have lost something, haven't you? Said Sliderby. Then Sliderby asked that I think you have lost something, didn't you? Okay, up to that today, just mark over here, you haven't lost something, haven't you? Said Philip Sliderby. Today up to that, just go through my class. You can understand line to line explanation I have given, and the rest of the story we will do in my next class. Okay, goodbye, stay home, stay safe.